Hello, fellow beer lovers. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of The Beer Boss and Better Brew Reviews. I'm Geoff, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time. Today I'm going to be trying out Red's Blueberry Ale. And for those of you that aren't tuning in for the first time, you know that generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of berry beers, although they are starting to grow on me a little bit. I just don't think that they're really, they kind of defy the definition, the standard definition of a beer, not only because they're non-compliant with the Reinheitsgebot, the German beer purity law of 1516, but because the berry flavor tends to the berry flavor of berry beers in general tends to overwhelm the senses, and it eclipses anything that you normally associate with a beer, such as the malt flavor or the hops or the other characteristics that you normally are expecting. So this is Red's Blueberry Ale. So it's an ale. It's not a lager. We'll talk a little bit more about that after we check it out. Okay. So first, if you take a look at the color or the appearance is first of all, it's nearly translucent or transparent. You can see right through it. It's very light colored. I would say that the color is almost identical to apple cider, quite a bit lighter than apple juice. It looks like apple cider. No fizz whatsoever. All right. It's very aromatic. Smells delicious. As you might expect, it smells like blueberry, but there's definitely some other smells in there, some other scents. I would say it actually smells a little bit like apple cider. So let's try it. Well, not surprisingly, it doesn't taste like a beer at all. It actually, some berry beers, it tastes like somebody poured a few ounces of a wine cooler into a beer, and so it tastes like it just tastes like beer mixed with berries, which is what it is. In this case, it doesn't taste like a beer at all. It tastes a lot more like a spritzer, like a wine cooler. It tastes more bubbly than it looks. I should correct myself. It doesn't taste more bubbly. That's the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel. I was expecting the mouthfeel to either be lightly syrupy or just watery. But it's actually got a mouthfeel of carbonation. I would expect that a lot of fans of wine coolers would appreciate this. And if you, for people that prefer wine over beer, they might actually enjoy this as well. And then a third category of people would be beer lovers that enjoy experimenting with flavored beers. And I count myself as one of those people. I wouldn't normally stock this, but it's refreshing and it's interesting. It's certainly interesting to share with guests. So, you know, it's something that I might pick up a 6-pack of now and again just for those purposes. So, okay, so we talked about the appearance, we talked about including the color, we talked about the aroma, and we talked about the taste. We did not talk about the finish. And the finish, I would say, you know, there are some beers where you drink it, and as soon as you swallow it, the flavor's gone. And the finish, as we've talked about before, is just a nice word for aftertaste. Aftertaste has negative connotations a lot of the time, and so you use the word finish instead. And the finish in this case, it actually lingers quite a bit, but it's not just it's not just the blueberry flavor that lingers. I would say that there's a bit of almost an acerbic quality that sticks around for a moment, and I'm guessing, I'm not sure if it comes from just from the alcohol, or if it comes from from whatever it is that they use to add the blueberry flavor. Sometimes artificial flavors will have a strange aftertaste because they're chemical based. So I don't know. I'm sure we could Google and find out more about the specifics in this case. But that's my best my best input on that. Okay, so it's an ale, which means it's top fermented, and ales traditionally don't include hops, but there are exceptions for sure. I'm not sure in this case. I mean, it certainly does not taste hoppy at all, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is a traditional ale with the addition of the blueberry flavor. All right, so I guess that's all for today. Please subscribe, please share with your friends, and send me some fan mail. And if you aren't up to the task, then you could at least, instead you could put comments on my page, and you know, you might win yourself a spot on this show, and you could also win some free beers, some really good free beers, as well as maybe some you know, beer materials like coasters, stickers, things like that. All right, so until next time, happy drinking and Merry Christmas.